Welcome back to Straight Facts. I'm joined again after his summer off of sunbathing and lying in the mud. It's man like Lee Gunner. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm very disappointed that we didn't have a little bit of Mark Morrison Return of the Mac as the intro. Do you know what I mean?
If I had the money for that license, bro, do you know what I mean? I'd be doing that's what YouTube has got the money for it. They should actually invest in allowing content creators to use music. It'd be amazing. Yeah, look, it feels like a minute since we've had a chat. Lots has been going on, lots of kind of updates and transfers, and no better place to start with you than with Arsenal. But before we do that, viewers, if we hit 2,000 likes while we're live, I will give away 30 free memberships for you on the air. Plus, as well, you can see I'm donning this brilliant t-shirt. I'll move my mic out of the way a little bit. As you can see, this brilliant t-shirt here. You can get one yourself now exclusively from Give Me Sport. You can see the QR code on the screen. It is, of course, a bigging up Leah Williamson, the England captain, as they go into their massive game in the Euros. You can get this t-shirt now with the QR code or link in the description below. So go and check that out. But Lee, no better place to start than with Arsenal. Smashing in pre-season, brilliant transfer window so far. Edu coming out, and literally, I've never seen Arsenal fans so excited after an interview from you kind of sporting director, as it were. Arsenal look absolutely brilliant. So the question for you is, are you finally getting behind your boys?
The club is the star, Terry. Big up Kenny Ken. The club is the star. Can I just say as well, you're a wrong and you are. Yeah, I see your tweet the other day. If Arsenal carry on like this, Lee Gunner's in the job centre or something, wouldn't it?
No, if Arsenal keep playing like they're playing, you're going to go out of business. Yeah. You're going to go out of business.
Terry, let's just rewind, pause, stop a minute and bring everyone back to reality, yeah? I was there when Yaya Sanogo scored 4 goals in the Emirates Cup, mate, yeah? Right, so let's just turn it in a little bit, right? We slapped up Chelsea. I actually watched that game. That's the only game I've watched all summer. You know, I sat there and watched it the other night, and we battered them. Literally battered them. They were useless, but that was because we were so on it as well. Yeah, so it weren't like they were just rolling over. It was we forced them to do that. But the thing for me, right, it's like it's all well and good doing that when the pressure's off, isn't it? Right? Let's see what we do in the season. And like I've seen Edu's interviews, like, mate, the guy's the biggest waffler on the planet. Like, he is. Like he could sell ice to Eskimos, mate. Real talk, yeah. The guy is a waffler, right? And I didn't realize that his last 2 clubs that he played for both terminated his contract. Yeah, the guy's never played more than I think 78 games for a football club. Yeah, it's just like can't have a look at what he's won. It's mad. Yeah, the guy's a waffler. He's a blagger, and he'll convince a lot of people that this is amazing, right? But let's have it right here, Terry. Yeah, this manager has done 370 million quid since he's been here, and look at the state of that squad. Even now, with Zinchenko, Jesus, yeah, have a look at that squad, right? Because this window's been dressed up as a 7 or 8 out of 10 at the minute. And if we get a midfielder as a 10, really? Well, Becky B was rolling around with the armband on the other day. Why is he still here? Yeah, we've got Rob Holding coming out in an interview saying, oh, well, defenders have come and gone, but I'm still here. Well, yeah, that's because we protected your value about 3 years ago. You know what I mean? I've signed you up to a new deal. We've still got El Neni here on a new deal. Granit Xhaka talking again. When I thought you did, you're talking on the pitch. Yeah, that guy talks more off the pitch than anyone. Yeah, unless you've lost the game and then he don't turn up, like he won't come out. They'll send out Saka. Right? This window for me so far, we've signed Austin Trusty the process. And he's gone straight on loan. He'll never kick a ball for Arsenal. That was nothing to do with football. That was like, let's open the American market up a bit more. Yeah, real talk. Right, we signed a goalkeeper, Turner, who's a massive downgrade on Leno, by the way. Yeah, massive downgrade. So we're weaker in the goalkeeping position straight away. Because as soon as Leno gets his deal to Fulham, we're weaker. Right back, we've got a right back that everyone was lauding up to be Tommy Cafu. Yeah, and everyone, I've seen so many people this summer, Terry, right, sitting there going, oh, get rid of Tierney. He's injury prone. Well, Tierney started more games than Tommy Cafu last season, right? So where's the talk for him? He's been out for 6 months with a calf strain. What are they made of? Glass. Like, do you know what I mean? Then we've got William Saliba back. That's a big plus. I like him. He's quality. Yeah, and I've been banging the drum.
That's a positive. We've got a positive. Yes,
yeah,
we've got one.
Woo! Yeah, we've got William Saliba. But now, this is what Arsenal fans do. Not all Arsenal fans, but a majority online will sit there and go, oh, well, why don't we put Ben White at right back and put Saliba in with Gabriel at centre? Really? You were gassing up Tommy Cafu, mate. Well, now Ben White's not good enough to play centre-back anymore. It's like something new constantly. Yeah, then we've signed Zinchenko, and mate, the guy's a good player. Yeah, and I rate him, so clip that as well. That's a positive. Yeah, I rate both him and Jesus. And the way our fans and the media and the club have like gassed this lot up, it's come, mate. If they were top players, like elite level players, Man City wouldn't have let them go. Let's be real with that. Yeah, let's just be real with that. They're better than what we had, but that's only because we allowed Aubameyang to go and paid for him to play for Barca, and Lacazette just couldn't be asked anymore. Yeah, and then we've got Kieran Tierney, who I think's class, but then the backup is Tavares, who this manager signed, by the way. And our fans are going, oh, get rid of him. Get rid of him. Well, who signed him? So now it's Zinchenko. Oh, he's amazing. He can play midfield. He can do this. He can do that. Okay, so is he going in over Granit Xhaka then? No, he ain't getting in over him. Was he getting in over Partey then? No, he ain't getting in over him. Well, if Tierney's fit, where's he playing then? Yeah, yes, it's depth. It's squad depth. But for me, I'm being straight up with this, Terry. Yeah? For me, we need a right back. Yeah, because Tomiyasu ain't the man. I said this last season. Brandon said it as well on here. Yeah, he said he ain't great, and I've been saying it for months. He ain't great, right? Bellerin's not good enough, and Cedric ain't good enough. So there's 3 right backs we got that ain't good enough. We need a right back, right? We need another midfielder, like a destroyer in midfield, because we can't rely on Thomas Partey. The guy's injured quite a lot, yeah. But we should have gone for Basuma, but Arsenal fans are telling me he's rubbish now. Okay, cool. We need an attacking midfielder that'll bag 15 goals a season, and we probably need another striker, because if Jesus gets injured, we're going with Eddie Nketiah up front. How are people sitting there hyping that up as an 8 out of 10 window? We ain't got all the ones we need. Yeah, and if you compare that to then Tottenham, even Man United, yeah, they've got all of these clubs have got better managers, by the way, right? So they've all got a starting berth because they've got the better managers. But now they, apart from Man United, they finished above us last season. And now Man United are going out and getting players as well with a better manager. And what have we done? We've signed the Portuguese Kim Kallström. The guy's in a protective boot. Oh, it's a precaution, really? He's been injured since June. He's got a fractured bone in his foot. He ain't even training. Yeah. Then we've signed 2 Americans that are just not good enough. One ain't even here anymore. Then we've signed Jesus, good player, but we need another one up front as well. And then we've signed Zinchenko, who's a good player. And people are hyping this up as an 8 out of 10 window. What are they talking about?
Look, I think, for me, I think the players you've signed are very, very good. I didn't know much about Fabio Vieira before you bought him, but of course, you do your research on a player afterwards. It looks very technically gifted, very astute going forward, good level of outputs to add to it as well. However, I've not seen him. I've seen 2 of your preseason games. I haven't seen much of him, so it's hard. There's no way of judging how good, bad, or indifferent he's going to be. I do think Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko are massive upgrades to what you had. So I think they improve your team massively. I think there's also the element of the younger players being that year older. I think the Ben Whites, the Gabriels, Saliba's first year, but he's that bit older now. Saka's, Martinelli, Smith-Rowe. I think you'll get more out of them, more consistency out of them this year than you did last year. And some of them were consistent. And I think they'll get better. So I think you've got that core being a year older that's going to help. I think you've added some very, very good players into your team. And it's just, I'll be honest with you, mate, the way you've looked in pre-season, you look scary. You look scary to watch. The press is there, the fitness is there, the way you're moving the ball looks great. Now, I'll still reserve an element of judgment because you have to deliver opening day of the season. You've got to go and win. You've got to start the season well. When you were in a moment of ascendancy, like we saw at the end of the season, you can't throw it away. We don't know how Arsenal are going to react to those elements of pressure. But I do get the excitement from Arsenal fans because you're spending money, you're backing the manager, you're giving him what it is that he needs. But then I do agree with you on the element of more is needed. I'm still kind of confused why Yuri Tillemans hasn't been signed when it's supposedly in the bag and you've been talking to him for over a year, because I think you need another midfield player. You need someone above and beyond Xhaka as an example. And clearly you wanted another attacker. That's why you bid 50-odd million pounds for Rafinha. So I'm not going to judge Arsenal's window until the end. Even though I've as a rival looking at it, I think it's been good, very good. But you still need to get those 2 positions sorted to be kind of ready for the season. But then comes the question of, what is ready for what? And that's what a lot of Arsenal fans have kind of held back. We had Gunnar Lee, it was Gunnar Lee, sorry, no, Gunnar Lee that was on. It was very confusing. We had a Gunnar Lee on, now we've got Lee Gunnar, who from AFTV on the show the other day that was saying that they're going to come third. They're on their way. I've seen some Arsenal fans sort of talk about, and Maria Williams called it out here. Like, I heard some shouts from Arsenal fans chasing for the league as an example. Like, how well prepared do you think you are for the start of the season? And realistically, where do you think this team is going to end up?
In terms of the preseason games, we've been pretty flawless. Like I said, I only watched the Chelsea game, but I see the highlights of the other games, and it's pretty clear that our second string just ain't good enough. Yeah, for anything. Like, it's a massive dip in that bench player, right? But it's funny, Terry, yeah, because if you go from top of the league to where we finished in 5th, right? We start with City. If they improved, I think they've had the best window. They've got rid of Sterling for nearly 50 mil, Jesus for nearly 50 mil. They've got rid of Ferran Torres in January, so okay, maybe take that out, but they made 50 mil there, right? And then they're going to, who else did they get rid of? They got rid of someone else. Zinchenko, yeah? And then they've gone and signed Haaland and is it Alvarez?
Yeah.
And then they're going to get Cucurella. The fact that they have won the league and allowed them 2-3 players to leave the football club and it's no drama to them, right, tells you that they're confident. Yeah, and Haaland will bag goals. Yeah, and them wingers will always chip in anyway. Grealish should step up another season in. When you get a player at Man City, especially like wing positions, normally takes them a year to bed in and get the philosophy of Pep, yeah, and then they go on the next season, right? When you go down to Liverpool, they've signed Darwin Núñez, right? And I know everyone's been taking the mick out of him, right? And I think he's mad overrated, by the way. But the system they play and the way they play football, he will bag goals. So are they weaker? No. Then you go down to Chelsea, they've signed Koulibaly, they've signed Sterling. They looked average against us the other night. They need some spark in midfield, man. They need something. But I still have them above us, Terry. They're based off the fact that they have got a better manager, right? Then you go to Tottenham. Everyone's been laughing at Tottenham's window, or Arsenal fans have. Well, Perisic walks into our team, and so does Basuma. And let's be real, a lot of Arsenal fans wanted Richarlison. So I still have them above us. Now you've got Man United. They've signed Eriksen and Masela, is his name? Masela? Right? But they're still going to do business. They're still going to buy players. Yeah, and they've got a better manager. And I've seen some of the highlights of them in pre-season, and they look pretty good. They already look like they've got a style of play. Yeah, what's Arsenal's style of play? Sit back, defend, and try and nick a goal. So, yeah, pre-season's been cool, fantastic, and yeah, we've got 3 or 4 players out injured, and it's the usual suspects. But now but this is the problem, Terry. Tierney won't play a full season. Thomas Partey won't play a full season. Tomiyasu won't either. Yeah, but now the problem we have is if we get Partey injured for 3 months, or Tierney injured for 3 months, or Jesus injured for 3 months, any of them 3, or even the goalkeeper, any of them 4 players get injured, yeah, it's a massive downgrade because you're going from Jesus to Eddie. You're going from Tierney to, well, if Partey and Tierney are injured together, where's Zinchenko play? Left back or centre mid? Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, you've then got to plug someone in at left back if he's playing centre mid. And you will get injuries. And we're in the Europa League this season as well. So that's another 10, 15 games. Yeah, Sunday, Thursday. We need about another 4 players, man, just to even compete for top 4. And then the funny thing about it is every Arsenal fan I speak to that's like pro Arteta, right? I say the same thing to them. So Ramsdale's one of the best keepers, yeah? And they go, yeah. Right, the centre-back pairing's one of the best, yeah? Yeah, okay. Tomiyasu's one of the best right-backs, yeah. Tierney's one of the best left. We just signed Zinchenko, cool, yeah. Thomas Partey. So you go through the whole team. Odegaard, yeah, only created 6 big chances last season, by the way. Only 6. Yeah, I think Che Adams created more, by the way. But creative spark, yeah, flawless. Saka, best young player in the league, according to our fans. Yeah, Jesus, second coming of Thierry Henry, mate. He's brilliant. Where do you think we'll finish then, mate? If we finish above 6th, I'll be happy. What the fuck are you talking about? So you're gassing up all of these players, hyping everything up, and then when you say, well, where are we finishing then? If we get above 6th, it's a result because the other teams are so good. Well, that's one nearly 400 mil, Terry.
Well, that's one thing I would agree with in the sense of the level of hype and excitement. You're going into the 4th season with Arteta as the manager, 3rd full season, but he'll go past 4 years in charge during this campaign. By the end of the window, you're going to be over £400 million spent in this squad. it's do or die for Arteta. That's the way I look at this. So there's the team and I look at this two different ways. This Arsenal, it's win-win though for me when I look at Arsenal, because if Arteta fouls with this squad, you've got a really good squad ready for a top-class manager to take over on. Or he delivers with this squad, gets you back into the Champions League, but then after that, this is the thing, right? For Arteta, it's what I'd say to Arteta fans. This season and next season, that the expectations have to be almost relentless. It's this year, you get us into that Champions League and you make us, and we look great all season. We're highly competitive and we try and win a trophy. And then the following year, if you achieve that, say you win the FA Cup, get to the Europa League final and come third, but a very good third, if that makes sense. Like you're in it easy. The only following thing the year after is, well, then you have to compete for the title. You're Arsenal. And that's what I liked about Edu's comments the other day. I like the fact that what Edu said, because for the first time in a while, there's some standards being put out there. And that isn't so, people always think I've got an agenda. Oh, you just want to say there's high standards so that you can ask Arsenal fans to want the managers to be sacked. And it isn't as basic and as binary and simple as that. It's more along the lines of, well, yes, you've got Liverpool and City that are there, but you need to challenge that. And you're Arsenal, you're spending in and around the same amount of money as Liverpool are spending. So why
we're spending a lot more than Liverpool, to be fair.
And you need to be able to. So for me, what I'm liking about this is that Arsenal fans are excited. Edu's saying the right things. Most Arsenal fans are very happy with this window. So at least this year, we're going to get Arsenal supporters say, well, this is what we should be achieving. And I expect it. Not, but if we didn't get this, I don't want to hear the excuses of, but not
this. That's the thing, Terry. You will hear the excuses, because when ultimately we don't get in the top four, right? 4 of our players have come out. Yeah, Ramsdale, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Xhaka, and all 4 of them have said the target for this season is to aim for the top 4 and maybe win a trophy like the Europa League. They've all said Europa League, yeah? So maybe try and win the Europa League, but get top 4. That's the mentality in the play. 4 of our players' heads. One of them is going to be captain, by the way. One of them has been a captain for us. Yeah? So that's the mentality. Edu comes out, and this is where the media really push a narrative, yeah? I did a video going through the whole transcript of that Edu interview. The question before he was answered before, when he then said about the target is trophies, ASAP, we should be competing with Man City and Liverpool, but it's all about trophies. The question before, they were talking to him and he said, we're halfway through the project. Well, make your mind up then, mate. What? So what, 2.5 years in, 3 years into a project, yeah? Then the very next question is saying we should win trophies. Okay, cool. So what is the project then? Is the project that after 5-6 years, then we win a title? But in the meantime, now we have to kick on and try and get trophies and then win the title. But it don't matter because Man City and Liverpool are too far gone. Or is it the fact that we just put that all out there? All the media are just run with what he said about trophies, try and put a bit of pressure and some standards in the club, right? All the fans get gassed up and hyped up. But then when it don't happen, we just blame VAR again. Yeah, and well, we can't compete. Well, we had a good go, youngest squad in the league. Let me tell you something, Terry, right? Because I know there's a lot of people that watch this show, yeah? They banged on all last season about Arsenal having the youngest team in the league. In 2008-2009 season, the average age of our squad was younger than last season. And we got to a Champions League semi-final, mate. Yeah? So all of this PR, I ain't buying it. Yeah, well, 2008-9, we got Champions League semi and Ronaldo, Rooney and all of that. Sky made an advert out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah? Look, and I get that. Look, I think this is the thing for me. It's about the standards of it. Now, with how long
Why has everyone got standards all of a sudden, Terry? I've been bleating about standards for years.
I've always said, though, that, again, the difference between me and you hold the same standards for our clubs. The difference between me and you is, though, that I can see and celebrate the step change and the progression, and I can see it. And that's the only difference between you and I in terms of the standards. But Arsenal are at a point now where the time for excuses is over. Arteta has to deliver this year. Now, I'm not saying he has to win the league. He has to make the Champions League, and he has to make it. I don't even like the word comfortable. I call it good qualification. So, you know, if you're 7-8 points clear with 5 games to go, you become a Champions League team. You need to go into the games against City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, and consistently look competitive home and away. I think that's when you know you've got a top class manager. You know,
Yeah, but it's not them games, Terry. We lost to Brighton. Yeah, we lost to
no,
Southampton. We lost to Palace. We lose to
I
Burnley
get
every
that,
now and
but
again.
you
We've
don't.
lost to Villa. They're the teams,
I
Terry.
get that, but you don't make
Newcastle.
it. I get that, but you don't make a comfortable or a clear or an easy top 4 qualification and lose to those teams. That's kind of like a prerequisite of it. You put those teams aside, and that's where we're going to sit. And then it comes down to whether it's the players or the manager. And I think the one thing that Arsenal fans have kind of set themselves up for is putting so much stock into the manager over the club. It's the only thing I've kind of disagreed with a lot of the sort of Arteta inners with for a long while is it's like they are protecting the manager. I think some of them will protect the manager more than the football club. And I think these excuses, for me, just as a content creator, as a fan of football and someone that covers the top 6, Arteta is now out of excuses in the sense of you start delivering now on a consistent basis or he should go. The reason I say that is because you put the best part of £500 million into a squad. You've built the project. You've got the youth. This year, you're adding the right age, caliber, and experience of player for a non-Champions League team. You know, and you have been. Listen, you throw a Tillemans into there and a Bowen into your squad. I'm just using those 2 names because you're linked to them. You throw Tillemans and Bowen into this squad. With what your fans that support Arteta say about your squad, how good it is, how technically gifted it is, what they say about your manager, they all have to have the expectations of 3rd or 4th minimum, closing the gap on the top, winning trophies and consistent football with the odd blip here and there. That has to be the standard after 4 years of rebuilding. And that's, for me, a lot of Arsenal fans I'm talking to are saying that, though. That is what they expect and what they demand. I just hope they keep that energy.
So on that basis, then, Terry, right? Yeah. When Edu's coming out saying it's now time we win trophies, what I want to know is if they don't win any trophies this season, are they all jacking? Are they all walking out and saying we failed? Because he's put that out there now. All the media have run with that headline: Edu wants trophies now, ASAP, blah blah blah. So if they don't win any trophies this season, are they all getting sacked? Because at the end of the day, right, we've seen, right, and I'm not really on the owner at all. Yeah, I've never really, I have, but I haven't. It's not like people go over the top, but it's like he has spent a lot of money, yeah. But then people change the narrative all the time on that. It's like, yeah, but it's not coming out of his pocket. Well, that's not what Arsenal fans wanted when we smashed Highbury down. But none of them were born to even know what happened back then. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, I just sit there and I think, when we had Raul Sanelli at the club and Emery was manager, the target was to get in the Champions League. Right? Well, he didn't do that, and they didn't sack him. And they openly sat there and did an interview. Raul Sanelli and Vinay sat there and said the aim is the Champions League. They didn't get Champions League, and they kept him. So now Edu's coming out saying the aim is to win trophies now. Well, if we don't by the end of the season, then is he getting sacked? Nobody asked that question, do they?
No. Look, and I think you're onto something there, Lee. I think you're absolutely onto something where I believe that's where the fans have to put the club above their loyalty to players and managers. And that's, I do that. I'm getting cooked today by people. How dare you? Are you annoyed at the Ronaldo situation? I've got a video dropping on that later. Make sure you check it out. Why am I annoyed? Because I care about Man United more than I care about Ronaldo, and always will. I care about Man United more than I care about Sir Alex Ferguson, and I always will. The point is, there's nothing wrong in backing Mikel Arteta, but Arsenal are ready to win now. Based on everything that's been said about them, they have to be ready to win now. Rebuilds should not be more 2 to 3 years to get yourself ready to compete, and then you go. That's if your rebuild is working with the money that you've spent. And the thing is, what I like about what I'm saying is the reaction I get to it. Some gooners go, no, you're right, Terry. Arteta's got to deliver now. There are some that are like, oh, you're just setting us up to fail. How am I setting you up to fail? My words, I'm not good. Arteta doesn't watch me. Saka's not watching me. And oh shit, Terry Flewis said we've got to win. I'm under pressure now. They don't know who I am. What I'm saying feeds into them in almost no way, shape, or form. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm just a football fan. They're not listening to me in that way. The media are not putting pressure upon them that's going to make them crumble. There's always pressure on Arsenal. You're Arsenal Football Club. You're one of the biggest football clubs in the world. And after 4 years, nearly £500 million being spent, the expectation has got to be, and to your point, it isn't you have to win a trophy, otherwise you get sacked. You have to look at the context always, and there's nuance to it. You make the FA Cup final and the Europa League final, but let's just say you're up against Man City in the FA Cup final and you're up against Real Madrid because they drop out of the Champions League and you narrowly lose. That's not necessarily a reason to sack Arteta, because it depends who you're playing.
Yeah, but it is, because he didn't succeed, did he? Because he didn't win a trophy.
look, I get that.
And the aim of elite sport, as Edu has said,
Yes.
the aim is to win trophies. So he ain't won one, sacked.
It is, but I think
If
you
we're
have
going to act like an elite club, and everyone's telling me we're starting to change the culture, the structure, and all of this rubbish, and they're coming out and they're protecting the manager, they're spending money, and they're bigging up the Cronkies. Edu even said in that interview the other day, he said, I think it's unfair that fans are on the owner, like giving it to the owner. Yeah, that's brainwashing, man. What do you mean you think it's unfair? Yeah, you're nicking £2 million a year, mate. Yeah, and he is nicking it as well because he is useless. Yeah, name 5-6 players that he's signed that are not Portuguese speakers. Like, come on, that is mad. Yeah, I could have got Thomas Partey out of his release clause. We waited till deadline day. People are going on like this is some miracle that we've done here. Then you get the fans coming out saying, get rid of Cedric, get rid of this player, get rid of that player. These are players that Arteta and Edu have signed. And they're not good enough. It was a stepping stone. Like I mentioned about 2008 when we had a younger squad. Somebody put in the chat earlier, they said, oh, but the landscape was different back in 08. What do you mean the landscape was different? The aim's still to win.
This notion
Nobody was banging on Sky Sports, BT Sport, and all around the media and social media about, oh, Arsenal got the youngest squad and they're in the Champions League semi. Nobody cared because it was all about just get on with it. And Arsenal, if there was a trophy for doing PR, they'd win it every year.
Look, I agree with you on that. Football hasn't changed as much as some fans of some clubs like to make out. I mean, we all know the golden era of the Premier League, where it was at its best, was from about 04-05 through to about 2013. And what I mean by that is we had 4 teams almost every year that were considered globally good enough to win the Champions League. We haven't had that. We haven't had that since 2013. At the start of every season now for a decade, you've not had more than 1 or 2 teams that people have conceivably felt could win the Champions League up until the last year or so, where people considered Chelsea as part of that. The 4th place team has nearly always been written off as an example. That era of football was so hard in England. There was 2 or 3 teams, sometimes 4 every season that could conceivably win the league. Now, of course, Liverpool and City have pushed the envelope further. They've taken the game to another level of consistency that's needed. But when you're older, and the younger fans don't always get this, and some of the older fans like to ignore it if their team's doing well. Every 5 to 6 to 7 years, a new manager came into the Premier League and up the levels or up the quality of football or up the professionalism. And then everybody had to follow suit and catch up. Fergie did it with the alcohol side of things, and the way his teams kicked on their relentlessness. Wenger came in and it was the style of football, holding the possession, better dietary regime, better fitness levels. Again, everybody had to follow suit. Jose came entertaining football, but relentless football. You started the season at a million miles an hour, and you started winning games early. Everybody had to respond to it. City and Liverpool have now created this ridiculous level of consistency where you just keep winning. You aim for the highest amount of points possible. And it's just about adapting and moving on. People should, and this is the point I'm making, people should then learn to catch up to it. Yes, things are slightly different now, but if you go back to 08, 09, there were differences from that point moving back 5 to 6, 7 years. You have to adapt and you have to change and you have to make sure your team's ready. And when you spend what Man United have spent, what Chelsea spend, what Arsenal are spending, what Spurs are now spending, there are no excuses to not get to the same level.
No, we've Arsenal have outspent Liverpool 4 summers in a row. 4 summers in a row, right? There's this myth that it took like 4 years. It didn't. He won the Champions League inside 3. The first full season he was in that job, he got him in the Champions League. All you get out of Arsenal fans online is, oh, but it's a more competitive league now. Bollocks. Yeah, at the end of the day, look at the team he inherited. Look at the team Arteta inherited. People go, but he won an FA Cup. And Rome weren't built in a day. Well, it was because he won the FA Cup with Socrates at centre-back, Aubameyang that nobody likes anymore, Lacazette in the team, Maitland-Niles at right wing-back, Pepe that no one likes. I think since his first 11, the first game that Mikel Arteta had, I think there's only 5 players out of that squad, out of the whole squad, that are still here. Yeah. So there's no excuses, Terry. And the money that Liverpool have spent, how can Liverpool spend less money than Arsenal, but Liverpool be light years gone? Why? Number one, they got a proper manager that was already a winner, right? Number 2, they're very good at selling players and getting players in. They sold Coutinho for 140. They went and bought Van Dijk and Alisson with that. They went and got Mane and Salah for 20 odd million each. And people go, oh, but the transfer market's inflated. Really? We just got Zinchenko for 30 mil. What are you talking about inflated? We could have gone and got Basuma for 25 mil. What are you talking about inflated?
And it's inflated, but then even if it is inflated and it is in certain areas, it's retrospective because everyone has more money now. So it hasn't really changed. I want to respond to something here from David. David here says, Terry, why do you do straight facts? Why don't you do straight facts on United? Why Arsenal? And why do you get people who hate the club to come on? Well, firstly, David, you must not watch enough of our content because we do 3 straight facts a week. Our Sunday edition, we rotate. And our Sunday edition predominantly has Liaz and Hussam on the show. They're Liverpool and Man United supporters. This weekend just gone, if you watch the show, we had a Chelsea fan on. Yes, I do straight facts with Lee and with Jess, but actually when you watch our shows, like we're going to be covering Manchester United. I'm not too sure what StreamYard keeps doing to me. I keep throwing us out, which is weird. Sorry, I was saying something else then. Yes, we're talking Arsenal right now, but we are going to go on to talk Man United and we're going to talk Chelsea. Straight facts is about covering the length and breadth of the Premier League. So again, I'm not too sure where you get this from, David. Maybe I only actually ever see you comment when Lee's on, though. So maybe you should just watch more of our shows and you would see we cover more, my friend.
Can I just highlight a comment as well? Because this is a really good comment, yeah. Right. It says, where is it? It's talking about should Klopp have been sacked? Where is he? So by that logic, Zblogger9, yeah, it says, by that logic, Klopp did not win the Premier League or Champions League last season. Sack Klopp. Are you mad? Yeah. The target for Klopp was to get him back in the Champions League. He did it in his first full season. Yeah. Then the target after that was not just settle for 4th place every season. It was now kick on and win trophies. Yeah. In his 3rd full season, he won the Champions League. He's gotten to 2 Champions League finals. He's missed out on a title by 1 point when Man City got, 100 points or whatever, 90 odd points or whatever it was, 99 points. He's won a league title. He's won 2 cups this season. And he's lost, I think the first half season he was there, he lost 2 finals, didn't he? Europa League final and a League Cup final. How are you even comparing that to Arteta? Because if Arteta gets top 4, this fan base will have bunting and party poppers out all down the Hornsey Road, and then it's let's just get top 4 again. We're back old goosebumps under the lights at the carpet, yeah. And then it won't be let's kick on and win a title. It'll be let's just get top 4 again. I'm sick and tired of it. I couldn't care less if we come 4th. Yeah, I'd rather come 15th. You get the same thing for it. Yeah, the only difference you get for it is you ain't getting passed around Europe like a peace pipe. The last game we played in the Champions League, we lost 5-1 to Bayern Munich for the 3rd time in a row, by the way. Yeah. And these people think that this manager is going to get us back to glory. Bro, I don't know what they're smoking. Real talk.
I hear you on that. A comment here says that the problem isn't that Terry gets people lightly, is that Terry doesn't check him. Challenge what he says. I mean, did you watch our stream?
Facts. It's called straight facts.
Did people not watch our heated debates and arguments at the end of last season? I'm just listening. Sometimes it's about listening. Sometimes it's about letting you guys say what you got to say. Right, I'm going to go to some of these super chats here. If you really think that with injuries, VAR, suspensions, European games, Arsenal will finish above Chelsea over 38 games because of pre-season, lol, is what Blaze has got to say. Can only like once, sorry, bruv. Lee, I feel you, man. I need to see results. Too many false dawns have come and gone. And I do think that's sensible from Arsenal fans to keep their feet on the ground. Same as look, Man United have looked good.
But Terry, most of our fans that support Arsenal that are on social media have never seen us win a league title, mate. They've grown up in the last decade of Wenger lying out of his backside, telling the world we can't compete while he was the highest paid manager on the planet. Yeah, and the FA Cup is below 4th place. That's what they've grown up on. Is yours gold? But they've never seen us win it. Yeah, then it's excuse. Oh, Man City are buying the title. Well, what are Arsenal doing then? Because we're spending more than Man City. We're spending more than Liverpool. And guess what? We ain't buying a title. We're happy with 4th place.
I don't like net spend because I think it's a nonsense. But if you actually look at the net spend,
we've got the highest spend in Europe since Wenger left, mate.
City's has been really good the last couple of years. A comment here says, Lee Gunnosaurus, you are a dinosaur. F off to Spurs is what he says.
Mate, okay, sorry, Ted. Let me just stop you there, right? I said this to my mate the other day. I said, like, if I had £1 for every time somebody told me to F off down the lane, yeah, or go, oh, he's a Spurs fan, oh, he don't support Arsenal. But, mate, I was supporting Arsenal when these people weren't even born, right? Not only that, why don't you come with an argument against what I'm saying? You can't, because you can't argue with what I'm saying, which is why you just go, oh, you're toxic, you're negative, go down the lane, because you've got nothing else to say. It's fact. They've got nothing to say. You can't argue with what I'm saying. We've spent the most money since Wenger's left out of any club on the planet. And look at the state of that squad. We haven't even been in a title race for since 2016. Yeah, that's 6 years. We've spent £500 million in the last 4 years. We've done nearly £1 billion in the last 9 years. Why? And Edu and your manager are saying it's all about titles and trophies. So why is that negative to want to win trophies? The only reason half of this lot support the club is because we won a gold trophy that they weren't born to see. Like, come on. They can't argue with it. It says, go down the lane. Why don't you go down to Burnley, to Turf Moor? Yeah, because you obviously don't want to win. You support my club because we were winning.
I hear you on that. Steve-O, thank you for becoming an official member of the Terrace. Remember, we hit 2,000 likes. I'm giving 30 free memberships away on the channel. A few people saying, they're not going to watch anymore if Lee's coming back on. I'll just say this to you. I respect...
they will watch, Del. They always watch.
I know, maybe they will, but I will say this. The Terrace is no echo chambers. We have a variety of Arsenal fans that come on that have very differing views, and we are never going to just push the narrative of one type of fan. That, for me, is vulgar. We'd never do it. Lee just dropped the act. The world is forgiving. I like that. That's a pretty good comment from Paul. That's a respectful way of having a bit of banter. United fans last season acted like they lost everything in a divorce, and Arsenal fans who finished 5 points above acted like they'd won that almighty
Worst season in United's Premier League history, wasn't it?
It was terrible. We're going to talk about United in a second. I miss when it was fine to be optimistic in football. I think
it's something to be optimistic about, and I'll be optimistic.
Well, I think it's fine to
I've waited 18 years to see us win another league title, which is why we smashed the stadium down. You weren't born, to witness.
I get that, Olu. I don't think it's about not being optimistic. I've literally just said Arsenal fans should be excited. There's being excited and there's being delusional. Okay, so saying I think Arsenal can make top 4 is absolutely fine. I'm really excited about the direction that we're going in. There's no issue with that. But it's the delusional element of some saying, I think we'll win the league this year. I think that's a crazy comment to make. Or people that where they're optimistic until things go wrong. And then it's 101 excuses as to
tell you what they do. Sorry to cut you off. What they do, right, is they gas it up and hype it up, right? And they sit there, and when we win, you're in the mud. Yeah, well, I'm looking good in the mud, didn't I? Right? So I'm in the mud. Yeah, but ultimately, I always end up right. And why do I always end up right? Because I've seen the same story year after year after year after year after year. Why am I going to sit here and think it's any different this season? Yeah, people sit there and say, Rome weren't built in a day. Well, he won the FA Cup after 6 months with a team that none of you lot rated. And now he's got rid of all of them players nearly, and he's got his own squad, and he ain't won nothing. Maybe we should have kept that squad.
I get you there. I get you there. We've got a super chat from Tyrant says, at least if Lee F's off down the lane, he'll see Champions League football. Manager. Martin says, might go down the lane, Lee, as they've got Conte. Top 4 and winning the Europa is a minimum this season for Arteta. Lee is the facts man. Keep it up is what.
And this is the thing. I'm an alternative view because there is a lot of fans out there that feel the same as I do, Terry. Yeah, but the club PR, the journalists that push it, the mainstream media that push it, all these toxic, positive, Disney-esque Fantasyland dreamers on Twitter push it with their big accounts. Yeah, the super fans push it. But you're not going to suppress us. Yeah, like go back to the last 2 years that we've been stuck in lockdowns and that. There's been a lot of people that have been anti this and anti that. Yeah, well, and I'll be careful what I say because I know it's. But there's a lot of people that were against all of that. Yeah, but they were trying to bully you. Like you have to comply. And all these people are trying to suppress my thoughts and feelings. There's thousands and thousands of Arsenal fans that feel exactly the same as me. So when people sit there and go, how's he got a platform? Because there's hundreds of thousands of fans that feel the same.
But this is the thing I want to say. This is why I won't ever allow on the Terrace people to go, I'm not, if someone says to me, I'm not going to subscribe anymore. If you have, I get it all the time. I don't want to gout. And we get, this is the irony in it. We get people that go, I'm unsubscribing if you have positive Arsenal fans like a Gowan, they make me embarrassed as a gooner. You get people say the same about you. And it's like, well, if I got rid of everybody that a certain group don't like, it'd just be me. So, and then some people don't even like me. So it's crazy. We can't do it. I want to get through the rest of these super chats and I want to move the topic on a little bit. Lee, I watched Bruce Rioch football. Fair play to you. Spot on, Lee. Arsenal fans go around saying they don't know if they can trust Arteta, but yet they said he can finish above Eric, Ten Hag, Conte, and Tuchel. Smoky Setting says Lee should Wenger have been given Kroenke's backing. the
Well, he
world.
did. He was getting paid more money than Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho at the time.
And again, what I will say is this on that: the world's changed. The money in football now compared to the new TV money has made things very different for football clubs in terms of how much they pump into it. And Zane here says, as a Milan fan, I think Arsenal have lost ambition. If United, Chelsea, City, Barca finish 8th 2 seasons in a row, then finish 5th, they won't celebrate.
Barca fans chased Messi out the ground trying to kick his head in because he didn't score for 3 games. Real Madrid fans, when they lost to FC Sheriff, they just set a league record for goals scored in the first 10 games last season. They were waving the white handkerchiefs and booing. Yeah, they ended up winning that competition. That's the level. That is the level. But unfortunately, like when you see all these other clubs around Europe and that, like their fans are elites because they demand the best. Unfortunately, loads of fans are latched onto this football club because of one man that won a gold trophy, mate. Yeah, and they couldn't care less about winning again because it was, oh, they played Wenger ball. Yeah, guess what? Yeah, guess what? He underachieved as an Arsenal manager. He won 3 trophies in 3 titles in 22 years. Like, come on. Like, seriously.
Mate, I hear you on that. I do. Talking of another club whose fans are not very optimistic going into the start of the season is Chelsea. They're today linked with another new player. They're now being linked very credibly by Nazir Kinsella with Denzel. I love the name, man. Denzel Dumfries. That sounds like an action movie like star. Do you know what I mean? But Denzel Dumfries now linked to Chelsea after, of course, not landing Jules Koundé. This deal is supposedly active, possible and on as things stand. But when you look at Chelsea, I mean, you look at a player like him, first of all, you look at Chelsea's summer so far. Do you think they're in as big a mess as some of their fans believe and as rivals are saying with Chelsea? Or do you think, they'll pick up some players like Dumfries? They're also in the other big story today is that Frankie de Jong is now open to leaving Barcelona, but to join Chelsea over the Man United. I mean, if they were to bring in Frankie de Jong and Dumfries between now and the end of the season, that would really turn the mood around at Chelsea. Or do you disagree? Do you feel like they actually are looking like they're in a mess?
Yeah, but people, it's the same again. People love to put them in a mess. Every time there's something going on at Chelsea, and there's always something going on at Chelsea, they always pull a trophy out of the bag. So, they sack their manager, and then Di Matteo wins them the Champions League. Then they sack this manager. Tuchel comes in, bang, Champions League. Like, if people were sitting there writing off Chelsea, you're crazy, mate. Yeah, they're the most successful club in England in the last 15 years for a reason. And even though they've got new ownership, a new hierarchy, some of the players are old, they're coming to the end. A lot of players are just sticking around for the last season, don't want to leave, etc., etc. And they're maybe struggling to sign players. It's funny because Arsenal fans laughed at Chelsea because Rafinha went to Barca. Well, he rejected us as well. Like, do you know what I mean? But they've signed Sterling, and as much as I don't particularly rate him that highly, is what they needed, a goal-scoring winger. Yeah, nil bad goals. They're not in a mess. They're not in a mess. And if people think they're in a mess, I'd love to see at the end of the season when they finish above us, which they will, the excuses for a team that are in a mess finishing above the manager that's got everything he's wanted, right? And everything's rosy in Arsenal's garden, because they will finish above Arsenal. I'll put money on that. They'll finish above Arsenal. So I don't think they're in a mess. They've got the pulling power. They're in the richest part of London. They can pay the wages. They can attract top talent. They've got a top-class manager, and they're the most successful club in England for the last decade and a half. And they're in the Champions League. And Arsenal fans spent all season telling me, if you get Champions League, you can attract better players. Well, there you go. So they're going to attract some better players by the end of the window, aren't they? Yeah, and they will finish above Arsenal and comfortably in the top 4. So they're not in a mess. And in terms of Arsenal's expectations for a season, whether they win a trophy or not, I don't know. But if he don't win a trophy, he'll be sacked. I mean, because that's the standard.
I think with Chelsea, I feel like I don't think they're in as big a mess as they look. I think Todd Bowley, I mean, they did a bit of PR today, and I said in the Football Terrace group chat, I said, now they've missed out on Koundé. I said, within a day, there was going to be an article saying he wasn't really that much of a priority. The manager didn't really rate him, didn't really want him. Lo and behold, the Chelsea tier ones are writing those articles. And that's the sort of stuff that I just don't... I do read the articles to see what they're saying, but I don't believe a word of it. However, I believe that Todd Bowley has been very... I think he's just been a little bit too open, a bit too transparent. He's fed stuff into certain journalists. I spoke to a journalist on Sunday. said, mate, what's like, this guy was the guy that he one of his articles literally said that Chelsea Football Club have beaten Barcelona to the player. Barca have walked away. They're confident. He was told directly by the club, like, we've landed him. It's done. It's over the line. And then it didn't. I think the way they're going around, hijacking deals, the way it's being perceived by fans because of all the reports in the media, it's like it's wishy-washy and messy. Where I think that the only thing they're doing different to other clubs is they're not keeping it quiet. Man United do this. Man United are so noisy in the transfer window and leave such a large footprint that you see all the mistakes and the problems and the players that you didn't get. Everybody else just does it quietly. But the process is still very much the same, if you get where I'm coming from. Like, this is just the way these things kind of work. I don't necessarily think Chelsea have suddenly this summer started behaving very differently from 95% of other clubs. And the reason I say that is because the feedback from other clubs, even on deals they haven't landed, has been, oh, look, it was really refreshing. It's nice. It's quick. They come in. They want to get deals over the line. They don't want to spend 2 months negotiating. They really like it. So it's not as in the industry, it's not being looked at as messy and crazy. It just appears that way to football fans because we're kind of not used to sort of seeing it. Do you get where I'm coming from? And we've had this season as well because of how much of the media stories have been exposed this year. The amount of fan bases that have had meltdowns. Well, I don't want Rafinha because we're not the number one choice. I mean, Arsenal signed Gabriel Jesus. You weren't Gabriel Jesus' number one choice in reality, because if Pep Guardiola said, listen, I'll make you my main number 9, you'll start 30 games, you'll start as my main number 9 striker, Gabriel Jesus would have stayed. But right. Did you get my point? And that's not a dig.
And then we dangled 200 grand a week at him and doubled his wages. Same as Zinchenko, he was on 20 grand a week.
Well, it's how things get spun and get spoken about. Does that make sense? And it's not like, and I'm not saying when he decided he wanted to leave, you were his number one target. But I guarantee if Pep would have said that to him, or I said guarantee, I believe he would stay and do that. You know, it's like how things get worded all the time. The Athletic this afternoon, we'll get onto De Jong in a minute, have said, you know, De Jong doesn't really see Man United as that attractive. The way that's being spun by the headlines now is Frankie De Jong says he doesn't want to join Man United. Well, they're not the same comment. That's not the same thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't find Lee very attractive, but it doesn't mean he's a 3 out of 10. You know what I mean?
You've got better since you've had hair back, mate.
I know, mate. I know. I've taken 5 years off me. 5. But yeah, look, I think Chelsea are doing all right. I think Chelsea will sign 2 or 3 more players.
The thing is, though, Terry, football fans are almost like school kids. Yeah. It's like, Tottenham lost, Tottenham are losing, Chelsea have signed Koulibaly, his legs are gone, Yeah, Koulibaly would be our best centre-back. Right, let's not even debate it. Right? So it's like, it's so childish and amateurish, like little 5-year-olds in a playground.
Oh,
if you can't see what Arteta's doing, you can jog on to Spurs.
I keep saying we're going to try and introduce something to the terrace this season about like banning people with dead banter. And what I mean by that is like,
well, I'm all right then.
No, what I mean is though, like calling, like, you know, when a joke's been done, then it becomes boring. I'll tell you an example of great banter. Did you see the quote tweet of Troops when Troops said that Saliba's not here to play games, and a Spurs fan quote tweeted and said, well, of course he ain't kicked the ball in 3 years. That's an amazing banter. But when I tell you the biggest one that gets to me, the worst response, Twitter should make it an instant ban, is when you make a good point to someone makes a tweet, you make a good point and they respond with salty. The response salty should get you an instant lifetime Twitter ban, because it's like you're lowering the intelligence of everybody on the app when all you can respond with is salty. Honestly,
Terry, that's the same as when I'm sitting there talking about Arsenal and people go, "You're a Spurs fan." It's the same thing. You haven't got an argument to put forward to close me down.
I would say that. Like, it isn't an argument to call Lee a Spurs fan. You're not debunking what he said. I've destroyed Lee live on air countless times because
when?
No more, mate, I've ruined you. You know I
have. No, picture it didn't happen till.
No, that's it. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones. But salty Terry, yeah. Look, that's when it's funny when you're responding to me saying it. But it's just like, come back with a proper response. But there we go. We've got a few more super chats here I want to go through. My big fat juicy bird is better than Arteta. I like
big up Samir Patois, man. His bird's a budgie.
I was about to say, I thought he was talking about a turkey, to be fair. That's what I thought. Herbie White.
It just likes them a bit big, like BBWs and all of them ones. You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with a little bit. Mate, I always say my hair is now like how I like my women, thick. That's what I say.
I thought you was going to say hairy.
Nah, I'm not really into that, bruv. I'm not really into that. It's not my thing. Herbie, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. I really appreciate it. Amir here says, Lissandro Martinez represents a good example of Muppet banter. That's a great word for it, Muppet banter. He's Lissandro Maldini when Arsenal were linked with him. He's rubbish when he signs for United. But that isn't just Arsenal fans. I've got a real problem with that. I've seen United content creators do it over the years where they rave about a player, someone else signs him, and they focus on the negatives. For me, I don't know. It just doesn't. Even as a joke, it just don't hit. It's dead banter to me. So I agree with you completely.
I'm saying it's like 5-year-olds in a playground. You're a Spurs fan. Oh, well, he's rubbish. Yeah, but you liked him last week. Yeah, but he's gone Man United.
Olu, thank you very much for becoming a member, my guy. I appreciate it. You've been called out. I'm going to go through that in a minute, though. First of all, first one here from Carl says £100 bet Arsenal finish above Chelsea.
I'll take that bet. I'll double it to 200, mate. They'll finish above Arsenal. I'll take that bet. Somebody screen grab that. Yeah, send it to Terry. Pull it out wherever you want to pull it, Tel. Send it to me. Yeah, the screen grab, and I'll star it on WhatsApp. I'll double it to 200. Yeah, they will finish above Arsenal.
There we go. The gauntlet's been thrown down. Arsenal fans are like the host in Westworld on loop. I've only just started watching Westworld, so I get the reference now. I get the reference. This channel has shown me how important it is to hear others' opinions. Lee is part of that. Love him or hate him, his opinions give perspective. Yeah, listen, I think it is what it is. It's about having opinions. Rob here says Man United should bring in Rice or Neves. They are proven in the Prem. Jong can't cut it in Spain. Not good enough to play in England is what Rob says. We're going to come on to Jong in a minute. Because the news about him today. But Safe here says, why does Lee hate Safe? I love when people speak about themselves in the third person. And block Safe on StreamYard. While he is a real man, we speak face-to-face about Arteta. But Lee is a coward. Send the link, Terry. Let Safe and Lee become friends.
Mate, you are the biggest weirdo I've ever met on camera. And he's been on my channel before. Yeah, I'll stick the link up. He is the biggest weirdo I have ever met in my life, right? And not only that, you support Man United, mate. So why am I going to talk to you about Arsenal? Like, and you'll debate me about my club? I probably know more about Man United than you do. I mean, go away, man. Worry about your own club.
Bro, this is the guy who used to
weirdo, man. But mate, if I see him walking down the street, I'd swerve him real quick and cross the road.
Bro, this is the guy that DM'd me on Twitter years back, and he was standing outside my Barclays building. He took a picture of it. He was outside my work.
I'm saying he's a freak, man. Like you need
to he's no threat, bro. He's about 3 foot. He's about 3 foot tall.
Yeah, but Terry, I really don't want to talk to him about Mikel Arteta. Why don't you worry about Ten Hag? Do you know what I mean? Like, jog on, mate.
I like how he talks. He's like, "Hello, Terry. How are you, Terry?" Honestly,
weirdo, mate.
He makes me die.
Proper weirdo. Yeah, I'd swerve him real quick.
Advocating banning words, Terry, says a lot. Again, my friend.
Cancel culture.
Hang on, it's a joke. I don't actually think Twitter should ban you for it. It's a joke. it's a madness.
Is that banter that you're saying, like ban banter if it's bad banter? Was that bad banter, Till?
No, I think it's brilliant banter because it winds them up. It's dead. It didn't hit with me. It didn't make me laugh. People complain about Lee for showing standards for our football club. He doesn't see you don't see me complain. Fans like Babs, who represent a majority of the fan base, lose their mentality, and super fans can support Fulham. Look, it's all about opinions, and the difference is, as long as it doesn't get nasty or violent, like I think it should be absolutely all's fair in love and war. Now, speaking about things that could get violent. Frankie de Jong, linked with the move to Man United all summer, now being reported in Spain that he is open to leaving. He will agree to leave, but only if he can join Chelsea Football Club. Of course, he still wants his deferred payment in relation to... It was really funny, actually. I've been called out by people today going, no one in Spain, Terry, is saying that he wants the deferred money. Well, there's a report there that says he does, but he wants to join Chelsea. Do you think, I want to get your opinion on this, do you think Man United have been wrong to chase De Jong all summer?
No. They spent a year and a half chasing Bruno.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if that's the player they want, then there's obviously some issue there. We don't know what the issue is. There's different reports coming out. One's that he's owed money, so we don't want to leave until he's paid the money. Then it's he's happy in Spain. Then it's, oh, well, he will go to the Premier League, but maybe not Man United. Then he will go Man United. And it's like, mate, half of these people haven't got a clue what's going on. Yeah, so why don't they just stop talking? But I do think he will leave Barcelona. And I think he will come to the Prem. Whether he comes to United or not remains to be seen. But if I was to put money on it, and I'm not a gambler, if I was to put money on it, I think he'll be at Man United by the end of the transfer window. Yeah, Ten Hag, get him in. I think he'll get him in. And I think that if he does sign for United, he walks straight into your team because your midfield's whack. It's nearly as bad as ours. You've got McTominay. Like, I mean, I don't even know why he's at Man United. Like, so he walks straight in over him.
Did you see his round the world trick he's doing in the photo shoots? Did you know
the guy's that poor that Scotland, one of the poorest nations internationally, play him at centre back, but he starts for Man United in midfield, one of the biggest clubs in the world.
It's crazy.
I'm just watching the water planes fly over the gaff. There's a forest fire over there at the minute, hell.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How far is that from you?
About a mile.
Raw. It's crazy.
There's four planes flying over to drop water off, like on the forest fire.
Mate, it's crazy. They're actually scary forest fires. They're like so like hard to control and stop and everything else, man. But
there's been loads recently as well.
I bet.
Imagine, I smoke, so imagine throwing your cigarette out the window. Yeah, gosh, starts a fire, doesn't
it? People do those. It's fun. Like I saw the debates going on the other day. Global warming is causing the forest fires. I'm like, of course it's playing a part when it's warmer, but it'll be someone.
Get me started on that. You'll be shut down real quick.
No, I get that. And look, I think of course climate change plays a part because things are warmer. My point was, I bet someone threw a cigarette out the window though, the car, and on the M25 it landed in a book. I'm not saying they're not connected, but it's like it wasn't the sunlight that suddenly made everything burst into flame. But there's always a mixture of. Like,
how did the runway at Luton Airport melt the other day? Yeah, how did they deal with it in Malaga? Or Sevilla? Sevilla's 48 degrees today. How's this? What are they making the time? Like, is it different tarmac in Sevilla than it was in Luton?
Well, it must be. It must be. Like, must be made. We're not making it. It didn't make me laugh. It was very serious stuff. But it was. I watched the debate. It was like people saying it was like a person that's created the fire versus no, it's climate change. And I was reading it. I'm going. It's both together, you idiots. It's both those reasons that collectively that have done it. But
Terry, I could go so much deeper on climate change because it ain't a thing, mate.
Mate, we're not doing it.
We'll save that for a Telegram group.
It is a thing. It is a thing. It is a thing. It is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, but I'll say no more.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, listen, as you say, it's the world's an interesting place. And again, if you can't have this is how you know the world, like debates aren't possible anymore about anything. If people are trying to cancel you because you don't think Arteta is a good enough manager, you definitely can't when it comes to politics debate because that's really a motive. Like it's crazy. It is literally crazy. Straight conspiracies. Yeah, we'll change the name of the show. Do straight conspiracies. But listen, look, I think De Jong could end up at Man United, but I keep saying it that time and time again. If we don't get him, it's such a big L, and that the Athletic will put out.
Yeah, but do you think it's a big L? Really, like genuinely, do you think it's a big L? Because it's not like he's like one of the top 10 players on the planet. He's a good player, and he'd improve you a lot. But yes, you've wasted, or according to the media, you've wasted a lot of time chasing him. Terry, it's a phone call. Couple of phone calls.
No, I get that. I think it's more to do with, when I say L, I'm talking more along the lines of we could have had somebody else in sooner, been integrated in training. And it will be embarrassing to put so much stock in it. You know, there's a lot of quality journalists that have said the only thing holding it up is the deferred money. He's agreed terms where he's open to joining. If he ends up staying and taking a pay cut, it will sting and it will hurt. But then the thing is though, I keep saying to people, I call them like, they only read the bullet points and headlines. So I saw all these big aggregator accounts today put out, and I read what they put out because it's kind of worthwhile reading what they said. And then you read what the actual article says, and people need to read articles and digest, right? And I'll give you an example here. I'm just going to find it here. So this is what was said earlier on today. Even if Man United were to agree and pay Frankie de Jong's financials due, the player would still not join them. He doesn't want to play in the Europa League. So from the Athletic, you're like, that's damning. Like, he ain't joining now. And then it's all variations of that by people. He's still not going to. And then it was turned into. And then someone said he's not keen to join them. And then someone else reworded it to Frankie de Jong does not want to play in the Europa League. Even if United pay the deferred wages, he wouldn't want to join them. You read the actual quotes. Now, they haven't completely lied, but it's the way it's actually worded. What he said is that it says a view from the Barcelona dressing room is that a move to Man United is not that attractive, right? So I can get you saying he's not keen to join them, but some of the aggregators said he has said that he doesn't want to join United. Not that attractive. It isn't the same as you won't join, because if he has to leave Barca and Man United, the only team that are offering him a deal, I've said it all year, what's he going to do? Retire? Then though, the Europa League thing was mad. I thought, where's De Jong said this? In the article, it reads, there's been plenty of turbulence at Old Trafford in recent years, especially this summer. De Jong is likely to share Cristiano Ronaldo's view on playing in the Europa League this season. So it doesn't even say that's what De Jong thinks and feels. They're surmising and guessing that he might think the same as Cristiano Ronaldo. Ironically, Cristiano Ronaldo is telling us that it's all to do with the transfer policy, and it's like he's definitely not going to join for these reasons. And it's a misrepresentation of even what the article has said. And there's nothing in the article that's groundbreaking. We all know that he doesn't want to join Man United as a priority. He wants to stay at Barcelona. We all know that he's not that keen on playing in the Europa League either. And I've said to a lot of people, that my biggest fear isn't him not leaving Barca. My biggest fear is Chelsea, Barcelona, Bayern Munich coming in for him. If Chelsea were to come in and go, look, we'll match Man United's offer, but we've got Champions League football, we've got Thomas Tuchel, I think he picks them over us. That's more a fear for me than anything else. I still don't, in my heart of hearts, see him giving up £55 million to stay. I can't see, like, that's the way. I think that's what it works out over the next 4 years. He'd give up something like £55 million to stay and play there. I just don't see anyone doing that. And at centre back, I don't see it. I don't see it myself. But yeah, I am worried. I'm worried we won't get the deal done. I'm more worried about someone else sweeping in. It's been too quiet for a quality player all summer for it just to be us that are there. I feel like a few are waiting for it all to get agreed, and they might swoop in. Like I think that's my biggest fear with this. Really is. Lee, please support the team instead of moaning. Is what Herbie White says.
Should we compare supporter experience? How much money you done on Arsenal, mate? How much money you done on Arsenal? How much money you spent in your lifetime supporting Arsenal? Should we compare that? Because that's support, right? Because you're putting into the club, yeah? You're buying the merch, you're paying for the tickets, you're doing your hotels, the transport, the flights and all of that. So should we compare supporter experience and supporting the team? Yeah, just because, like, do you generally think that because I don't rate the manager, they're all sat in the dressing room before kickoff going, oh my God, we've got to perform today. Like, they genuinely couldn't care less. There's only you weirdos that do. Yeah, and I see loads of people in the chat, oh, you're so negative. Yeah, but you've watched the whole stream. So if it's affecting you that badly, why are you still here? Because as soon as I finish this, I'm going to sit back by the pool and I'm chilling, mate. I couldn't care less. And I'll be back again later with a video that you'll all put comments in. Yeah, so it's like, if I'm so negative and toxic, why'd you come and watch it every day? It makes no sense. You're all weirdos, man.
Yeah, listen, I most people that say it are just trying to like trigger. Most people actually are just sitting there and probably smiling and laughing and getting along. Top Gooners are mad as hell when they are 4th in November.
14th in November.
In the building when we're 14th in
November. We were 15th in November for 5 weeks, mate. Yeah, and we still didn't sack him. Yeah, and Tuchel was sat home twiddling his thumbs.
Chelsea in for Harry Kane. I've just seen those reports. People sent them through to me. Christian Falk has said that Harry Kane is very interesting for Chelsea, but the club believes Spurs would prefer to sell him abroad. I said, listen, I've said all summer there's going to be
nowhere.
I don't know. Well, he might not. But I've said all summer though, Lee. There's going to be a signing that happens between now and the end of the window that no one expects. One of my predictions was one of them could be Harry Kane leaving. One of the others is Saka to Man City. I could legitimately see that happening.
Oh, mate, did you see all the abuse that Amari Hutchinson got the other day? Going from Arsenal's youth team to Chelsea youth team. Imagine the meltdown if Saka left.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
This
not saying,
man, star boy.
I'm
Yeah,
not
the
saying
whole
it's gonna,
Project Youth
yeah.
is built around this kid, and then he leaves.
I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just simply stating.
Oh, it's going to happen at some point, Harry, and it's going to be
Maybe.
hilarious just to watch all these people that have been gnawing him off for years. Yeah, then when he goes to Liverpool or City, all crying that he's a snake. No, you mean the aim of elite sport is to win, and he wants to win, you mean? And he can't at Arsenal with your manager.
A comment here says, Lee, when did you last compliment Arsenal?
Well, if you scroll back all the way through the stream, mate, I complimented the signing of Jesus and Zinchenko. Did you miss that bit?
Herbie says, Lee is the worst kind of supporter a club could ask for.
Yeah, done over 100 grand supporting the club, mate. Been to over 500 games, home and away, all around the world. Yeah, really bad.
I heard a rumor. I heard you only.
I don't think Stan and Josh are going to sleep.
Nah, I'm calling you out, Lee. I was told you only started going to games so you could do fan cams, and then as soon as AFTV sacked you, you stopped going to games.
Yeah, it's not like I had a channel with 8K subs before that, is it, Self? Do you know what I mean?
They're the rumors. Someone actually DM'd me that one.
My first game, Terry, was October 1990. Yeah, and it was, mate, I'm not going to say his name because he was at Chelsea for a little bit. Yeah, and he ended up getting put done for something he shouldn't have done with. I'm just going to keep it there. But anyway, October 1990, and it was his testimonial game. And do you know what the mad thing is? We actually lost to Spurs at Highbury 5-2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let's see how much you lot support the club now, yeah? Oh, you're a fake fan. Yeah, who was the player? Whose testimonial was it? October 1990. Yeah, and we lost 5-2 to Tottenham. Yeah? Big up Georgie, he ain't even an Arsenal fan. Yeah? He knows more about Arsenal than this lot. They're telling me I'm a fake fan. Big up Georgie.
Herbie White has been a supporter for 40 years, mate.
Good for you. Well done. Well done. What's your point?
Jake says it was per Mertesacker.
No, but funny enough, I was actually at the cup final in 2017 where he came in. I think it was his first game of the season against Antonio Conte's Chelsea, who had set a record, yeah, for like most wins in a league season at that point. And Mertesacker got man of the match in that final. That was good. That was a good day. That was.
Someone said David O'Leary. Was it David O'Leary?
Nope.
I don't know. It is Ricks. Who's Ricks?
Graham Ricks. That's who it was.
Graham
that was my first ever game, October 1990. His testimonial, and we lost 5-2 to Tottenham. Yeah. All of these little kids that are telling me I'm a fake fan weren't even born in October 1990. Yeah, fake fan. They don't even know who Graham Ricks is. They're Googling him as we speak. But I'm fake.
Is he a bit of a, is he a kiddie fiddler?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
yeah.
hell.
I didn't want to say it, but you just come out with it.
No, all I've seen, I'm not even laughing at what it was. It was just, I'm sitting here reading the comments, and then I just started, I don't know why it tickled me. There were just about 7 or 8 in a row that went, he's a nonce.
Yeah,
and I was like, first of all, I laughed. Why did they call him Lee that? And then I realized what you said. It must be this guy. Right.
No, he is.
Fucking hell. Yeah, man. It's a madness. It's a madness. But there we go. Lee, obviously, we're going to be back again next week, building up and really predict. Next week, we're going to be building up and predicting the start of the Premier League on the show. So make sure you're all tuning in.
Away. You're not fit to wear the shirt. You're not fit to. Could be Pete, couldn't it? Or we could go out there and absolutely slap him, Terry. But we'll talk about that next week.
Hey, it's gonna be an interesting one. It really is. Viewers, make sure you've smashed that like button before you leave. Thank you to all of our super chatters on the show. It means an absolute great deal to us. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.